So in an ultimate shapeshifter, after I've done the base solve, in this case the 3x3, then I'm going to go to the other edges that are just adjacent to the 3x3 edges. In this case, this is going to be the 5x5 edges. And what I want to do first is I want to get all the ones that are up like this and bring them down, bring them flat. Now as I'm looking here, I'm wondering if I'm bumped. And as I'm looking, I'm wondering if I'm not bumped with these edges, but we'll see. Anyway, so to bring them down, you can see that this is up and this is up as well. So what I want to do is I want to bring all of them down. Now if I have 3 in a layer that are up, I'll simply just move it like, you know, move it down. However, I can see that this is also up as well. So if I move this over to here, this is up and this is up, but I'm bandaged with this guy over here. So if I move this, well, see, okay, this is where it gets interesting. And I'm not 100% sure that my 3x3 solve was correct, although I suspect it was, because I'm not bumped anywhere here. So if these are fine, I think the rest are fine. So I have to find a way of getting this one down, but I'm bandaged because I'm blocked with this guy over here. So I want to move this one down too. So what I'm going to do is, what if I were to move this down, but I can't because I'm blocked with this. Okay, so this is going to be something of a challenge. If I can get this, if I can move this to here, this will be parallel with this. So this will be up. Once this is here, this will be up. And then if I can move this to here, this will be up. So all 4 will be up. And all 4, well, 3 will be at the same layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do I want to put this here, and eventually I want to put this here. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to do a corner swap. If I do a corner swap and I swap this corner with this corner, this will end up here in the same plane. And then I'll just have to swap it back, but to our U, to our UI, to our, oh, yeah, UI D, to our UI, to our maybe I have to move this one here. No. To our U, to R. And this moves back. Okay, so in that swap, it did that job. This one that's coming up, that's not on the right plane, is indeed now in this plane over here. I gotta remember to swap this back. Now, I want to take this, well, let's see. What if I just take this and I go boom for now? Just remember to move it back. Now I can take 1, 2, 3 that are out and simply move it like so. So now they're flat. I'm going to move this back. And now the only ones in this layer just adjacent to the 3x3 edge, I just have this one. And there should be one more. Now what I can do is, let's swap these 2 back so I don't get confused. To our U, to our UI, to our UI D, to our UI, to our U, to R. And this goes back. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to free up as much of the bandaging as possible, and that's what I've done. This actually, let me see. Okay, so this is still up, and this is up. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to take this, and I want to move this. This is freed up over here. I'd like to take this and move this to here. This is bandaging over here because this is up, but that's in the 7x7 layer. So I'm going to do a corner swap to get this to here. So it's adjacent to this one because these are the last 2. And if there's just 2, even if I put them in the same plane and I put them down, I'm going to put 2 more out. So I have to move them next to each other and then Red Bull them down. So to our U, 2R, UI, 2R, UI, D, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R, and this moves back. Now, the reason that I did that is these two that are up are next to each other and we're fully free. So one Red Bull algorithm will move these down. It'll swap them and also flip them. 2R, let's get a 2B over here, gotta line it up, 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, LI, 2B, and 2R, and that's exactly what it did, is it pushed that down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to corner swap this back just because I like to get it back to my base 3x3 solve. It's 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, UI, D, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R, and boom. Okay, so you can see we're getting more and more unbandaged, more and more free, and we have all of these that are down. This is actually not rotated, this is just bumped, it's not rotated wrong. So that's the 5x5 edges. Now what about the 7x7? I want to move those down too, and I only have 2, so I'm going to take those 2 and move them next to each other. Now here's the problem. I can't move it next to each other because these are bandaging it, these short ones. So there's 2 edge layers. There's a long layer that matches on this side. This is the 7x7 edge. And then there's a 5x5 edges which are over here, which are the short ones. If I've got 2 over here, I'm bandaging this part, so I can't move my other 7x7 edge here because this is bandaging it. So what I want to do is I want to get them where they're supposed to be. These 2, I look for 2 short ones that are across from each other and 2 long ones that are across from each other, like over here. Once I see that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it down like so, and I'm going to move them next to each other, well, across from each other. So now that I have this down, if I move this over to here, I've got the 2 long ones right below the 2 short ones. So now I can swap these, splat, and move it back. So now as you can see, I freed that up. So although these are bumped different, normally they'd be different colors, like one would be this color, one would be this color, they're different shapes, but I freed it up. Now I'm not still completely free because you can see I've got these 2 over here. I have to move this, now I've got to line these up, otherwise I'm not going to be able to do it. So what can I do with that? What I'm going to do in that case is these 2 should go on a short end. So where's the short end? Aha. Alright, see all these long ends? These long ends have to end up over here, and any short ones that are here, like here, these have to end up on a short edge area. So the first thing that I want to do is, in other words, these short edges have to end up over here, and this long edge has to end up over here, otherwise I'm going to be bandaging my 7x7 edges, so I will not be able to fold this in. I won't be able to get that back in, these in over here. So how am I going to do that? Well, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to pair all of my short edges together, my short 3x3 edges together, so, and my long edges together as well. So these are paired over here. I want to pair the long edges as well, and that's what I'm doing right over here. Okay, so these are paired, and what I want to do now is I want to swap these guys over here. I'm going to move this to here and these to here, and that's going to be done by way of a simple edge swap. To our U, make sure I got this right. Okay, yeah, so to our U, to our U, to our to U, to our to U, to our U, to our UI, to R. Okay, so as you can see, these are in and these are in. I created placement issue here, so I'm going to go ahead and do another adjacent edge swap of this whole thing to get these two back. So that's 2R, it's an opposite edge swap because it's easier. 2U, okay, let's leave it at that for now. What I'm actually going to do now is I need to swap these two. So instead of doing 2R this way, I'm going to do it this way. That'll retain these and it'll swap these guys. 2R U, 2R U, 2R 2U, 2R 2U, 2R U, 2R UI, 2R. This is what I enjoy about this kind of puzzle, is because it's problem solving, not just algorithms. But you can see these are now fitting nicely, and I fixed the placement, the misplacement over here. And what's more is I appear to have freed up the 7x7 areas. So what that means is I can take this, move this next to here on this side, and I can go like splat, clunk, and I'll just move this back so we're not bumped. And now another red bull. Now that I'm completely freed up, we'll move these down. That's 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, LI, 2B, and 2R, and it gets the job done. So notice, although we are bumped, we are not bandaged. Everything is completely freed by doing all of that, so I've returned it back to its sort of native shape. Okay, the next step that I usually do at this point, we actually have a choice of how to do this, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to get my centers, my 5x5 centers in, because at least I'll know if I'm bumped or if I'm not bumped. So for instance, this guy has to go where? Here perhaps? Nope. Must be on the other side. Here. Yep. So this is sliding U techniques. So I'm going to move it in on the left, slide the U to the right, move it down on the right, slide it back to the left, if I can, to the left, up on the left, back to the right, up on the right, move it in, and you can see this is now in. So this part of the center is easy. Now this is not bumped, so we're good. Yeah, we're good over there. And these guys I think are going to come into here. So let me... So down on the right, slide it to the left, down on the left. Now if this were reflective stickers, it would be even harder because it would be a supercuboid, and that's another level of ouch. And boom. So this is in. Now I'm going to put this next one in here. Now it didn't matter which one of these I put in because it's not a supercuboid. I can't remember if I've ever done a tutorial on a supercuboid. I think that I have, somewhere in my journeys. Boom. Okay. So what we see, that's bumped over there, is these are in. I can't put these in as of yet. These are all in. These are getting there. Now this long one can only be, well, where do you belong? Oh, You must belong down over here or something. Nope, other side. So move it down. Slide it over here. Move this down. Slide it back. Move this up. So really I'm just placing the centers by these sliding U techniques. And we're good. Now this guy, I think, comes into any one of these. So, bring it down. The joy of having it completely unbandaged. I'm totally unbridled in my movement. Do whatever I want. Don't have to do fancy techniques. But that's why I took those steps, is so that I can unbandage it. Starting with a baseline solve, then putting my 5x5 edges in. Okay, now I got this long guy over here, and I think this guy goes into here. Yes? Yes. So move it in, slide it, move it down, slide it again, up, swoop. The puzzle moves so smoothly that I can't remember which other layers are dragged with it. Okay, so this is all in. You can tell we're bumped on this side, so I'm going to just move this back. Now finally this guy will find a nice home right over here. Down, slide it, down, slide it back, up, and splat. Okay, boy, there's a lot of puzzle to hold. Okay, so these centers are all in on the 3x3 version. This isn't yet, but we're going to get that. And now it's a matter of moving the others in. Now this I can put into here. See what else is out. We have one that's out over here. So where does this belong? This does not belong on this side. This belongs actually on this side. And the way that we're going to do that is I can't do a sliding U technique on the 7x7 side, because if I move it in, great, but if I move it over here and down, bang, I get bandaged. I get blocked. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do an algorithm, whoops, an algorithm to put this into here. And I'm going to do a URF algorithm which swaps edges like that. So I'm going to move this down so it's across from it. And then I'm going to move this in. The puzzle moves so smooth that I can easily get it out of alignment. That's the only reason why it's not moving sometimes. Like right over here. There it goes. Boom. Okay, so this is going to swap with this by doing the even version of URF. That's 2U, 2R, and then 2F. Do it to 2U, then 2F, 2R, 2U, 2F. Now they have been swapped, but now I'm going to move this over to here, and this will come up to here. So as you can see, this is now in. Now I got to do the same thing with this guy, and that's going to be from here. So let's, oh, you know what? Before I do that, something else happened. I forgot to mention. This got bumped with this. So the next thing that I have to do is I have to swap those back. So I'm going to move this back over here and move this back over here. What else got bumped? There's something else that got bumped. This guy. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here. Now what I got to do is I got to swap these two, because when I swapped those that came into here from this layer, I put the swap over to here. I basically swapped these two. So that's going to be 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U, 2F. And that took the bump out of that. So just had to do a little bit of cleanup there. So now you can see that that came back over there. I'm going to demonstrate that again in case that passed you by. So this needs to swap with this. So I need to move it opposite. So I'm going to move this down, move this across, and now we're going to go ahead and do our algorithm here. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U, 2F. Okay? Now we simply move this back over to here, and now we move this up. And now this is in. Now I've got to move this back, because when I did that URF, it swapped these two, but it pulled the swapping to here. It also swapped these guys. So you can see this edge, this 3x3 edge, is now bumped with this, as is this. I simply swap it back. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U, 2F, and no worries, that now got swapped back. Okay, so now all these edges are in, and that's fine, that's good. So it's a matter of putting now the 5x5 edges in. I'll do that next. With the caveat that I'm going to have to maybe bring it out once I put the 3x3 edges here. So I'm going to put these centers in. This obviously doesn't belong here. This obviously belongs up here. I don't need to know the color because I can certainly see from the shape. So if I move this over here, I can fold these two in like this. Okay. Move it over to here. Slide this down, move it back. Move this back over here. Move these two back up. Get it all lined up. Slide it back up here, and boom, bang. Okay, so I put these in over here, and I'm going to keep following suit with that. These two have to end up, I think, in this space. Yeah, so that won't be hard. I slide both of them in, as you can see here. Slide it to the left, swing it down to left, slide it back to the right, swing this back to the right, back here, boom. So now you can see my 3x3 is fine. 5x5 edges are fine. I'm bumped over here. Let me just make sure I didn't destroy anything. Nope, we're good. Well, okay. Did I destroy it? No. Okay, so we're still good over here. We're good over here, and we're good over here. So all of these edges are fine, but I don't have these. These are not. So these have to be put in. I can put them in now, or I can put them in later after I put the edges in. Just for the sake of perspective, maybe I'll put them in now. So these two need to be exchanged up over here with these. Okay, so this is going to be interesting.